Jay, Screen Crush? Give everyone a primer on Screen Crush.
Screen Crush, they're great. They made a whole video about why Joker is actually secretly a part of the DCEU, and one of their pieces of evidence was that and it's like one of 3 pieces of evidence of like similar caliber, right? Was that okay, so you've seen the scene in you've seen Batman versus Superman, of course.
Unfortunately.
No.
So in that you have the scene of Bruce's parents getting killed, right?
Naturally.
And
Sure.
and you have a similar scene of Bruce's parents getting killed in Joker, right? And you, as a person with a brain, would assume that because those are explicitly different scenes, where Bruce's parents get killed under different circumstances by different people and different events happen, that those 2 scenes can't both exist in the same universe, right?
Yeah.
Because they're explicitly different and they depict the same event happen. You know,
Any event that isn't
Bruce Wayne.
contradictory. Yeah.
Yeah, they're contradictory events and can't happen in the same universe.
Uh-huh.
Well, Screen Crush argues that actually they are exactly the same occurrence because, right, in both scenes, if you look in the background, there is a poster for the film Excalibur.
Well then, anyway, so Renegade Cut, Screen Crush, did a video where they apparently explain the plot holes in Rise of Skywalker. They answer your questions, and they have some of their own theories too, so exciting stuff. Gonna see what the caliber of these explanations are.
All right, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, was supposed to cap off the Skywalker
Why would you
saga,
start
but
the
it still
video
left
with like
fans-
half a second of you talking at a desk?
It's
Because
very
when you
jarring.
played this, yeah, I know. When you played this at first, I thought the video had skipped to some other point in time in the video.
with the live
Very
unanswered
strange
questions.
editing.
We asked for your questions on our community page, and I'm here to try to explain them for you.
What is that name tag? Look at that. I feel like this should have been how it opened.
Big spoilers for Rise of Skywalker are ahead. So let's
Oh,
start
no.
off with the big one. How did Palpatine return? We covered this in a separate video, but it boils down to this. He learned from Darth Plagueis how to keep his spirit alive.
Alright.
It's not in the
Really?
Darth Plagueis couldn't do that. He was killed and he didn't keep his spirit alive. That's not what happened.
He was perfecting the technique.
He was
something that Darth Plagueis couldn't do explicitly, and that's why.
Yeah, like that's the whole point of that scene. Is Darth Plagueis could not keep himself alive. He could save others from death, but not himself. This is how Palpatine learned to save himself from
could.
death.
He was lying. Palpatine was
What?
lying.
As he says in Revenge of the Sith.
He had such a knowledge of the dark side.
As if we don't already know this
As
scene.
he said in Revenge of the Sith, what quote is he about to play that supports his argument?
Here we go.
And which one is he going to
He
leave
could
out?
even keep the ones he cared about.
I guess he cares about himself, so that's applicable. There you go, boom.
Yeah, it is true.
From dying.
Then he had people
You cut off the part where he said he couldn't save himself.
Yeah, that's you're a slimy asshole, Screen Crush. Why would you do that?
God damn
You're
it.
being
Slimy
dishonest.
What a bad start.
around for a contingency plan to clone him new bodies. All right, so then why did he clone Snoke and operate through him? We could have just cloned himself.
Oh, it's
Like,
such a
just the fact you
disaster.
have to ask these questions. It's like from a bizarro universe of Star Wars. Why did Palpatine have to clone Snoke and use them as a puppet to control the...
It's also funny to think about it from perspective of like, let's use this explanation that makes no sense. If we agree with it, now it makes something else make no sense. Like,
Hooray!
Great.
I don't think Snoke's clone body was actually Force sensitive. He was merely using Palpatine's Force energy.
What? What?
Oh, was
What?
he? Let's see
What?
now.
What?
No.
How does that work?
Fuck me in the asshole sideways. I should have known.
What do we even say to that? He was just using Palpatine's force. He wasn't using it himself.
So what if Snoke? Okay, so
When
does
the
that
lightning
mean?
constantly shoots from his fingertips.
Yeah, that's Palpatine.
So what if,
Palpatine's
right?
His robe with his hand poking out.
So what happens if Palpatine dies before Snoke? Does Snoke lose all of his Force
Snoke
powers?
falls
and he's just
over.
an old ugly dude now.
He's just an old dude. It's like, aw.
That happens halfway through a fight, and he's like, "Oh, wah, wah."
Yeah. How come I can't use all my Force powers? Palpatine! Damn
You
you!
pesky bastard.
Creating a body that could actually contain that much dark side energy takes magic and not science. That's why he needed to steal Rey and Kylo's life force to be resurrected. All right, so why
He was resurrected before.
What do you mean? Yeah, he's clearly
He was
alive.
like talking. He was controlling Snoke. You've just established this.
He's also gone against his initial point now.
To get his force power back.
Oh, okay. These seem very arbitrary definitions in terms of what we're bringing back and what we're not. He's like, he was able to bring himself back because he learned it from Darth Plagueis. Also, he needed the dyad and the Force to suck the energy out in order to be resurrected. You're like, wait, hang on. I'm lost.
Snoke with a scarred face? Well, that's to make the illusion more believable. If Luke and Leia knew that Rey was a Palpatine, why did they pretend otherwise?
Why is it more believable that Snoke has a scar?
More arguments for that, but he's like, no. Why does Snoke need a scar? So it's more believable. Moving on.
What's believable? That he was a Palpatine
He was a
clone? But I thought he wanted to stay hidden. So why would he make it more believable that Snoke was a puppet? A Palpatine?
Love again.
This is insane. This
Green
is a lot
Crush,
of...
you're really bad at your job.
Yeah.
Magic and not science. That's why he needed to steal Rey and Kylo's life force to be resurrected. All right, so why
But he did
clone
that
Snoke
and they were
with a
still
scarred
alive.
face? Well, that's to make the illusion more believable. If Luke and Leia knew that Rey was a Palpatine, why did they pretend otherwise? For the same reason that Ben kept the truth from Luke, to protect her. Leia didn't...
No. Ben kept it so that Luke would be more on board with killing Vader. Pretty clear that that's his goal there. For some reason, they just... It almost... You know, it's so odd. Luke knew she was a Palpatine the whole time. And then you watch The Last Jedi again, where he's like, holy shit, you're powerful. This scares me. I'm out. Yeah, it seems like he had no idea, but weird. I don't know what to think about. Yeah, what do you guys think? That seems about right? It's not like these films are made by people who seem to hate each other's scripts or anything. Big thonk right there.
Duel of the Directors.
Big thunk.
want her to know.
I think
she was
Luke
ready.
said he went to the island to die because he was too ashamed to admit that he went there to just fuck the porgs. That's my contribution to
Having
the podcast.
many wanks. And then when she
You'd probably
arrived, he was
kill a
like,
porg if you fucked it.
no.
No, they have wide vagina.
Wide
They're like
ginas, that's what they're called,
otters.
right? Wide ginas?
I don't know. Some
they're-
people would
they're
probably take great
unfortunately
pleasure in the fact that the porg doesn't survive the.
Oh.
God, no.
No, but I
And
feel
Luke
if Luke was that way, he wouldn't be ashamed to admit it. He's like, yeah, I'm just here to fuck
I
porgs
can't
to
go back and tell Leia what I've been doing to the porg.
We never wanted her to know.
I've seen this raw strength only once before.
Those porgs saw that raw strength once before.
Oh, no.
And Ben Solo. It didn't scare me enough then.
That he was not
It
referring
does
to
now.
Palpatine there.
No. No, he has no
He
idea
was
she's a
not.
Palpatine because the film didn't know she was a Palpatine. If you remember, the film is like, lol, you're no one.
Yeah,
Hang
they
on,
made
hold
that
on.
shit up after.
He's suggesting that he's talking about Palpatine, and he's going, no, that didn't scare me. That was fine. I didn't care about that.
Yeah.
You know, when lightning shot from his fingertips, I was like,
So, happens.
it didn't scare me enough then. You know, I really didn't do anything about it. I was just like, oh.
Even though it's actually because J.J. Abrams just retconned the decision that Ryan Johnson
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, okay then.
Well,
Shut up.
Oh, alright.
made in Last Jedi. Anyways, moving on. How did Luke
Okay.
and Leia know that she was a Palpatine? Luke was looking for a Jedi hunter that was tracking Rey. He probably knew that the hunter was searching for the family of Palpatine.
Why would he be
and that the
knowing?
search-
But hold up. Why would he be looking for the Jedi hunter who was tracking Rey if Rey was
Well, he was
no
looking...
one?
I forget, what do they even say in TRoS that he's trying to find Exegol, right? Luke, and that's...
Yeah, so he has the Exegol trackers, which are now conveniently inside of the book that was in the last film.
I don't remember.
hit a dead end on Jakku. So he would have figured it out as soon as Rey said this.
Where are you from?
Nowhere.
No one's from nowhere.
Jakku.
Wait, so because she's from Jakku and someone on Jakku might be someone that a bounty hunter person's looking for, he knew that she was Palpatine's granddaughter?
Good thing.
Yes,
they weren't
moving
Coruscant.
on.
Oh, right.
All right, that is pretty much nowhere.
As for
Oh,
Leia,
okay.
she would have also
That last
known
bit.
the Emperor had a missing granddaughter and would have pieced it together when a crazy, Force-sensitive 20-something from Jakku showed up on her doorstep.
But the whole point... I thought everyone could have the Force, so it could be anyone still.
Also, Chewbacca, I guess.
See, that's
This
why.
random
Yeah,
person
that's what you were saying before the Pogs.
That's why Leia ignored Chewie. She was like, "Oh my God, Palpatine's granddaughter, hugs."
Oh yeah, I gotta hug her.
So how did the ancient Sith Dagger know where to find a relic inside a piece of Rebel on a raging sea? Well, the Dagger would have been forged after the Death Star was...
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
Why?
but it's not silly
Yeah,
now.
here's the, you
But
have to
it's still
explain
new.
like 12
Yeah,
things.
address
about
the
this Dagger
stupider parts
working.
of that. The idea that it's like, so it was like, was the knife made before the wreckage was formed around it, or was the knife made afterwards? Like probably afterward.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
but it's
afterwards. That's
straw
not really
man.
the stupid part.
That's not the
destroyed,
issue
and maybe
here.
the sea wasn't raging before the wreckage landed. The wreckage would have been so large there was no way
That's
the
like-
waves can move it,
that's
and
like-
the water just tries to get
Yeah,
around it.
that's like, okay, well, if Palpatine, you know, how was he alive in Rise of Skywalker? Well, he existed before then. So you know, when people say that Palpatine didn't exist before the Rise of Skywalker, they're wrong. Which is why it makes sense that he's alive now.
I just like, so it's like, this is what I subscribed to Screen Crush for. These in-depth explanations.
How did the Death
I am
Star
exactly
end up in the
subscribed to
ocean
Screen
when it
Crush
landed on
for
the
this.
forest moon of Endor? It actually didn't land on Endor's forest moon, just another of its moons. They're very
It's 'cause
clear
it got
about this in the movie.
vaporized.
Was the
Well, no, he's just said it landed on a different moon. Okay, it's fine. In the novel, whatever dictionary-tism, it says it traveled through like a hyperspace, like hole. It just bumped into one, and then it moved to that other place because it's really far away. It couldn't have just crashed there.
What?
The piece of the Death Star like went through a hyperspace tunnel.
A wizard did it.
That's basically both of those answers are pretty much equal.
I was gonna say, yeah.
was Palpatine's plan all along?
Everything is proceeding as I foresee.
What?
You did not see this. You fuck off.
I love the idea that we have another 3 films that are all about Palpatine trying to take over again, and I'm like, it all makes sense. Look, and I play a clip where he goes, "Everything is good." That's what I expected. Jesus.
Plan on losing the Galactic Civil War. He was surprised when Vader threw him down the shaft, but he did have a plan in place called the contingency in case he was betrayed. We covered this more in our Palpatine Explained video, but the contingency was just what you saw in the movie.
Oh,
Where's
these-
this fucking shit in the film?
I know, right? These poor people who have to just piece all of this bullshit together. It does make sense
Actually-
if you think about it.
Of the unknown regions
Wait,
and build a
Darth
secret
is in the
fleet.
Star
All right
Wars
then, so
universe?
where did all these giant ships come from?
Yes.
Who built them? Who
Yeah.
were
Cool.
operating them?
Yeah.
The Empress had 30 years to put his plan into place, so that would have been plenty of time to build the ships.
No.
No!
Are you
That's not-
fucking
no!
mad?
There's like thousands of them. What do you mean? Plenty of time to build it. It's a bunch of gremlin hobbits. Like, how could they possibly build all of those? No. Why does he say that? Like, we all agree.
I'm like, no.
They have to be built.
It's plenty of time, guys. It's plenty of time.
They have to research technology to make mini Death Star lasers.
And not only know how to make them, but actually make them and make enough of them and put them on all of the Star Destroyers that you have also made.
I'm not
From
convinced
where?
they could
From
build
what
one.
materials? Using what force? How has this remained a secret? I have so many questions.
And all the time they didn't bother to put some doors on their planet. Just have to crush through the planet to go up or try to go up.
Hey, man. Of all the places they could have chosen, they went with
That's
Exegol because
insane.
it's super secret. Okay, makes sense.
Plenty of time, you fucking.
Yeah, you gotta try and tell me that the stupid Hobbit gremlins built it in that environment as well. Getting zapped by lightning
Built 'em
constantly.
in the underground caves of Exegol, ready to burst through the ground.
So stupid.
Who these people are. The unknown regions are a big part of the galaxy that no one's really explored before, except for the Sith. So we don't know what was out
Shit.
there or anything about the people who lived there. It's likely the Sith conquered the region before they went endangered 1,000 years ago. So there would have been some deep-seated
But
loyalty.
wasn't
like
there,
they-
but wasn't there a
Okay,
war
yeah.
to do that? So everybody would know about this place.
What is he even
Like,
trying
we
to
can
say
go
right
back
now?
to Normandy.
Is he like suggesting that there was possibly a whole bunch of Sith out there that built these and then they were gone by the time the movie happens? Or something? I don't know. What is the
But I
point
thought
here?
the Jedi defeated the Sith in this big war,
No.
so they'd know where Exegol is.
No, other ones. Distant ones. Ones that went into the outer zones ranks. Gosh. It's for
An even
kids, okay?
secreter planet.
Why did Leia die? Well, the on-screen reason is she had to purge Palpatine's influence from her son. This took all her remaining strength.
Is that I didn't? You can do that. Okay.
It's not on screen.
Why didn't you do that earlier?
They don't say that. That's not in the film. It's not on
Yeah,
screen.
he says the on-screen reason. It's like, what do you mean on-screen reason? She purged Palpatism from Ben. Like, wow. All right.
You couldn't have done this like 5 years ago?
Maybe when he first
Before I
went
murdered
evil.
all those.
Could have done that sooner, Carrie.
Yeah, maybe if you weren't busy doing
Why didn't Luke
stuff.
do it?
Because she's a
Remember-
better Jedi than Luke. That's why in the flashback she beats Luke, because the old male characters.
She died to cleanse his soul. Luke died just to go, lol, you thought I was real. Okay.
But Leia, who's the more powerful Jedi, as we all know, she cleansed Kylo Ren of the influence of Palpatine
Thank goodness.
because she decided that now is the time to do this. After he got stabbed.
She died to save
No.
him.
He got
Next-
stabbed because she did it.
No, I thought she died.
No,
Okay,
she did
so
it, then he got
all right,
stabbed.
okay, let's go. Okay, so Rey and Kylo are fighting in their stupid water fight, and so
Sploosh,
then
sploosh.
she picks that time. She picks that time to die to cleanse him of Palpatine, just so that he can get stabbed by Rey a second later.
Hey, look, she did it because he was about to kill Rey. That's why. Even though she started to do all of it before that had happened. It makes sense.
Oh my god.
A very good film.
Next up, was Han Solo a Force ghost? No, they're pretty clear in the movie that he's a memory. Here's another.
That doesn't... I like that as well. That it's like he's a memory. It's like him showing up, you know, as he did. He's a memory. It is kind of just like, what do you? That's not how memories work. But okay.
Yeah, memories. That's not what happens.
Big one.
Like,
What was Finn
If I
going to
steal
tell
20
Rey?
bucks from my friend Bob, I will summon a memory of Bob to forgive me for stealing 20 bucks from him. So it's all good. We're cool.
And then the next time you talk to Bob, he's like, dude, you stole 20 bucks from me. He's like, no, you forgave
Nope,
me.
you forgave
I
me.
checked my memories, Bob. I know my memories,
I
Bob.
have a
Okay.
memory of it.
Imagine like you're going about your day, like you're in the store or something, and you turn around and you see someone that you knew who was deceased, and then you go, "What the?" And they go, "Oh, it's chill. I'm a memory." And you go, "Oh, okay, yeah, that I'm a human person. You understand that?" So how
Yeah, I'm
memories
just a
work.
memory. It's fine.
And let's be frank, too. We're already stretching memory because he can't remember Han Solo forgiving him
Yeah.
when Han Solo
Didn't do that. Han Solo in that scene is like, "Wow, you killed me! What
Are
the
you
hell?
kidding me?
You're a bit of a," and then falls off.
Well, it's got to be one of two things, right? Either that he has feelings for her,
Got a family? Got a boyfriend? Cute boyfriend?
or that he's force sensitive, which is also another question. Is Finn
Plot
force
hole.
sensitive? I think so.
Well, he says
I
the
mean,
whole feeling
He's
thing.
definitely force sensitive.
There's
What
no
the fuck
question
was
about
he?
that.
They use that as the plot get out of jail free card.
He gets feely bads when Rey dies. Yes, he has forceisms.
talks about having
Jenna see
feelings and
through that
instincts all
visor
through the
if
movie.
she pulled it
and then
down.
he
I
says
don't think it's supposed to be. It's a piece of helmet, Rags, idiot.
Oh,
Rag.
what's it doing?
It's protecting her upper forehead.
Well,
You know that armor in Star Wars doesn't work unless
well,
you're
Sweat
a
guard.
magic Mandalorian or a prison guard robot.
A metallic sweatband, yes. So
senses when Rey dies. Why does Palpatine send Kylo to kill Rey instead of capture her? Because he wanted Rey to overwhelm Kylo, kill him, and use the Wayfinder to track down Palpatine. Kylo Ren was just
No, but you said earlier that he needed to suck the life force out of the dyad to
yeah.
resurrect himself. You
Bullshit.
can't have it both ways. Pick one of the shitty things. You can't have both shitty things.
I totally planned for you to kill her so that she would kill you and then I would suck the life out of both of you. It's all going as I planned.
Film, I told you through Snoke that you had to kill her, except I need her alive in this one for the dyad thing. But
I'm picturing you lay it all out in front of Palpatine. He's like, I don't really know.
At least he understands the relative power levels between the two of them. Of course, Rey's gonna kill Kylo.
Yeah, he was like
Every
watching the
time
fight in the
Palpatine
water world,
respawns-
and as soon as Kylo wins it, he was just like, "What? How did you beat her?" Doesn't make any f***ing sense.
Well, she's been training now, so you know, obviously that makes it easier.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know. Palpatine has foreseen many things.
It's actually her power. Training makes her worse.
She should have known. She should have known.
Just a pawn to get Rey to turn to the dark side. Here's another one that I've been getting a lot.
Ooh.
When did Palpatine have a kid? Look, there's plot holes.
That's not a plot hole. It's not
why-
a plot hole.
What?
It's just weird to think about.
This guy had sex? What?
This guy.
Well, maybe this guy doesn't ever. Maybe this guy hasn't had sex, so he thinks that other people doing it is a plot hole.
He's in the cinema like, what the f***? He had sex? That's how do you...
It's like, I
how?
thought it was just a story.
That makes no sense.
It is pretty funny that
Real.
he's highlighting this as a plot hole. Ah.
And then there's just stuff you don't see happen because it's boring. Palpatine.
No,
took-
no, Palpatine will not be boring. Okay,
Why
calm
they
the
don't
fuck
explicitly
down.
show it? Yeah.
He
Palpy
thinks
getting
having
his
sex is
creamy
both
sheave
boring
on.
and a plot hole.
Don't describe that as boring. How f***ing dare you?
He'd be screaming, "I am the Sith."
Unlimited power.
No,
When
no.
did Palpatine have a kid?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Wait.
Do you think you're more likely to use force choke or force lightning in bed?
Force choke.
Low power force lightning. Yeah, that could do some stuff. Yeah.
Couldn't you squeeze her pussy around your cock to make it tighter?
Leave it to Rags to come with that crazy shit.
Listen, it's
Rags like
natural.
crazy.
I mean, it's just out of nowhere.
It's really just
I
force
don't know. We
pushing.
were just talking about
Yeah.
Creamy Sheev getting his groove on.
Don't call him creepy. God damn it.
Use Jedi mind tricks. So also, I guess Sith mind tricks. I will call you back.
I will call you daddy.
Oh no! Wait, Sheev is
You
calling
will call
daddy.
me daddy.
Kid. Look, there's plot holes, and then there's just stuff you don't see happen because it's boring. Palpatine
I
took
did
a wife when he was a
reciprocate.
senator, and it didn't work out. That's his own private business. But the real
What?
problem is,
How did you
now we have to
establish
fix it.
this?
Wait, what is happening
There's
right now?
Miss
What?
Palpatine out there?
Hang on. I need to roll it back. I don't even know what point he's
There's
making.
another one that I've been getting a lot. When did Palpatine have a kid? Look, there's plot holes, and then there's just stuff you don't see happen because it's boring. Palpatine took a wife when he was a senator.
When did that happen?
I'm sorry that you think making babies is a boring endeavor. You've ascended as a critic in your fucking polo.
It's the fucking wife.
Took a wife.
It's the people we covered before where they described sex as human intercourse. Remember this cold, sterile approach.
Come on, give Palpatine some privacy here, okay?
Yeah, they are engaging in human intercourse, a boring affair. Well, all right. I love that he just casually is like, he took a wife, they split up after having a kid. It's not something you need to get involved with. You're like, oh.
And it didn't work out. That's his own private business. But the real
See,
problem
that's
is,
not
No private businesses who can't sit in the
Yeah,
Private,
guys, you can't learn important information about the villains of the film. That's their private business.
It's
Respect the privacy of the Galactic
that's
Emperor.
that's between
please.
Palpy and his whammons, okay?
He had a kid that like he didn't care about or know about because he was like, oh, you fucked someone, then didn't talk to them again, and then oh, they're preggers. Like that's the explicit like implication of just a kid turning up from Palpatine who was, as far as we know, single throughout this whole thing, right? Like that's
That's his
just what
own
you
private
do.
business. His relationship status is set to it's complicated, so don't ask. All right, he needs some space.
As
No,
far
no,
as
and
Well,
we
he's got all
know.
the, he owns. He's the king of space, so he's got plenty of it, I guess.
You know how in his new body all of his fingers were fucked up?
Oh.
Yeah.
think that applies to his man business too?
I think it does.
It might.
Let's just say it's the bad kind of bony.
Oh. Why did you make a gagging noise to that? No.
Oh no!
It looks like the tip of a penis. It's melted.
Yeah, it's like the underside where it kind of oh yeah.
Oh no! What?
Generally,
That feel.
Oh my goodness.
That feel when you have white hair coming out of your penis.
Oh god, no.
And then when your penis says "goo." In case you Rax, this drawing is very lopsided. It reminds me of my bicycle drawing.
You just sort of hear some guy like goes to the one not next to you, the one about next to the one next to you, because he's not weird. You hear an unzipping sound, and then you hear just a quiet good.
Dude, imagine Renegade Cut found out we were responding to him, he booted up the stream and he saw this. He's like, what?
What is happening?
No penis, not now. Shut up.
Who were the other people in the Sith arena at the end of the movie? These are the ghosts of Sith Lords past. Palpatine says all Sith live in him, and this is
But the rocks crushed them.
Wait, is he talking about the Gremlin people?
They're ghosts?
They're ghosts of past
They
Sith?
can't be ghosts. They were like operating machinery.
They're little gremlins.
And they
What do
get
you
crushed
mean?
by boulders.
Hang on, so yeah, but the Star Destroyers, 1,000 Star Destroyers, them being fully crewed makes perfect sense. But what we need to explain is the few people who are in the Colosseum. It's desperately important that we get it out
Those
there.
were ghosts.
That's the thing,
Wouldn't
though.
make sense for that to be living
We
people in
just,
this situation.
if you just say they're indigenous gremlins that live on this planet, you're like, okay, but instead he's like, no, they're Sith ghosts. You're like, wait, this causes more issues.
It changes everything. So, and ghosts, as we know, can influence the world. So shouldn't there be like a Sith
Well,
ghost
clearly-
Jedi? That's why all the ghosts
Clearly they
Sorry,
could influence the
sorry,
world because they were
Qui-Gon
actually...
Jinn figured out how to be a Force ghost.
They
but
were
the Sith
making
can do it?
Snoke.
All the Sith can do it?
They were making Snoke, so of course they could influence the world. Yeah, they may as... How could they be ghosts? They're physical beings walking around. Like, I don't know.
Jedi ghosts weren't helping. It's very simple. Because they were fighting the Sith ghosts the whole time whenever they weren't on screen. When we weren't looking. That's why.
We shall go
then-
to Jedi Valhalla and fight for eternity against the Sith.
After you die, you just get sent to Star Wars Level 2.
And you just fight
You
constantly.
get to you get to go onto the Star Destroyers on Exegol, and you don't know where up is. It's actually pretty bad level design.
Mm-hmm.
externalization of that. It's like the ghost cave at the end of Return of the King. How is
What?
No!
What?
Oh,
Makes sense at all.
it's
Dude,
like the ghost cave. in
This is a
Return of the
parody at
King.
this point. I love this shit.
The audacity of this man.
It's like the Lord of the Rings. Moving on. Like, no.
Luke's lightsaber fixed after it was destroyed in Last Jedi? Well, they fixed it because J.J. Abrams didn't care about the symbolism of it being broken to begin with.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, the symbolism. He didn't care about the
That's the thing to be
symbolism.
talking about, man.
What if he
They
cared about...
disrespected the Last Jedi when they destroyed the lightsaber.
What if he cared about the symbolism of bringing pieces back together?
Doesn't.
Does this monkey think that The Last Jedi was good?
That was actually my argument in my stupid April Fool's video that I said it's supposed to symbolize, like, teaming back up, using your resources to become strong again or something. You could totally do that.
So they found the new Kyber crystal and they fused it back together. Why didn't Palpatine possess?
That wasn't an explanation. That's just you being like,
Head cannon.
I don't.
I
We're
feel
all
like
like,
his
how did they
answers
fix
create
it? He's like,
more
they fixed it. You're like, oh, but I asked how. And he's like, they fixed it by finding materials they needed to fix it. And you're like, yeah, but how?
I fixing it.
They just built a new one then.
But how?
Yeah, I know. Like, you just like, oh, you found a new crystal and
They
they
just
built
do
it
it.
and they fixed it. It's like, no, they basically just built a new one. Like, where did
Right,
they
when
find
she-
the parts if they
By
were parts?
fixing it.
But how?
Yeah, how did they do it?
Killed him.
Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
Because she didn't strike him down in anger, she
Off.
What?
That wasn't the point. Like if Luke was just like, he's like, I won't. When he throws the lightsaber, he goes and picks it back up. He's like, wait, if I just do it in a happy way, he's like, la la la, slice slice slice, la la la.
Slice dice, wee.
used his own force lightning against him, and as we've seen before, this injures Palpatine.
How? But Mace was clearly doing that in anger. He was f***ing annoyed that he was using lightning on him. Stop it!
You motherfucker.
When Palpatine healed, why didn't he become young Chancellor Palpatine that we've seen in the prequels?
Yeah.
Because he didn't drain all of their life force.
What? How have you established that if he sucked out all of their life force, what if he kept going and became like a baby?
Infant Palpatine.
Do it! Do it! I am the Senate. Have you heard the tale of Dark Plagueis the Wise?
What a retarded fucking
Not
counterpoint.
even the Jedi would tell you.
I thought that he was gonna say
Or-
something like that was his true form or something like that, like it is proven by episode 3. But no, he's like, well, yeah, obviously he didn't suck all of their life out, and now you're just like, why didn't he?
No, he wanted
Yeah,
to be an
what-
80-year-old wrinkly man. He didn't want to be a fit, strapping 30-year-old.
What a
Stop.
weird counter argument.
Dude, wouldn't it have been cool if he became like not even just Ian McDermott, like young Ian McDermott, and we got like a cool new like young Palpatine.
He became
That'd
like
be good,
Arnold
a good
Schwarzenegger.
movie. A good movie that can exist because Palpatine's in it, and he shouldn't be, but you know.
Keep them alive to screw with them some more.
He kept them alive to screw with them some more.
What a great idea!
That he's satisfied with that answer. So
How did Ben travel from Endor's moon to Exegol? All the shuttles on the Death Star would have been damaged, and Imperial TIE fighters
no, because the expanded lore, which came out I guess after this video, said that he got a modified TIE fighter from the Death Star that had hyperdrive on it. So get
Oh yeah,
whatever,
well, this one does
Oh,
have
cool.
hyperdrive.
whatever
So there,
explanation,
ha!
whatever explanation he's about to come up with is not the truth according to Disney.
don't have hyperdrives. Well, he was still Supreme Leader, so I assume he called for a shuttle. Okay then, if Ben was still Supreme Leader,
With
why not
what?
just call off the attack at the end? Well, for two reasons. One, Palpatine was in charge by that point. We even saw that
So then how did he get the TIE fighter, you
Okay, so hold up. If General Pride got a message from Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, I want to say Kyle Ben, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, everyone would have been like, but the Supreme Leader clearly just told us to. Is there something between you two? And that would have been something. Also, how does he communicate with him? He doesn't have a ship or anything.
He had a little communicator, his little device in his pocket.
Space phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
ex-Imperial kneeling
Poor
zone.
Richard E. Grant. He
Two,
doesn't deserve
Ben
this.
knew that the real fight was against Palpatine. You take out the king, you win the game. Why
Okay,
didn't Anakin
that's not how the world works.
Depends on how many kings there are, or
Yeah.
how many times they
Like,
resurrect
oh,
themselves.
Palpatine's dead. Yeah, but there's still 1,000 planet-destroying space lasers in the atmosphere. Those don't disappear.
show up in the film since he was the chosen one? Well, guys, apparently he wasn't the chosen one.
Oh, okay. Good,
Please,
good
please,
explanation.
please don't.
Hey!
Please
I
don't
find
That is
entertain
an
that idea.
explanation. I mean,
He wasn't the
Apparently-
chosen one. F off.
he wasn't the chosen one is basically the explanation. Apparently, Anakin wasn't really the chosen one this whole time.
Yeah, as chat saying, boo, wrong, incorrect, throws
you.
popcorn and tomatoes.
Really shit.
Why didn't Anakin show up in the film since he was the chosen one? Well, guys, apparently he wasn't the chosen one.
Underestimate my power.
And he does show up as a
Okay.
voiceover. Now let's talk about the healing.
Oh.
Lots of
Oh, all right. Okay, then.
All right then.
Good.
There's a voiceover, you guys.
His voiceover is so cringy as well because he says, bring balance to the Force like I did. It's like, what do you mean, like you did?
You did. We still don't know what. We still can't agree on what balance of the Force means, and it's been 20 years. I don't even know what that is.
The Force doesn't fall over, you know. Keep it nice and stable, nice and sturdy, nice and upright, erect. Keep the Force erect.
Keep it erect.
Keep the Force erect.
Erect.
People want to know why no Jedi ever bothered to heal someone before. The answer is they probably didn't know about it.
Oh.
The Jedi have been around for like
How did she know about
10,000 years or something silly. There's
Yeah, but
no
they didn't
way
have the
they wouldn't
books.
have been like, I wonder if we could use the Force to heal people.
They didn't have the books, even though Luke had those books before they ended up on Arc 2, so...
Yeah, those are the sacred Jedi texts.
Yeah, well...
That's why Luke didn't heal Vader, or they weren't strong enough to pull it off. That's why Obi-Wan didn't heal
Off? What do you know?
That's
You're
bullshit.
just making that shit up now.
Yeah, just making shit
Come
up.
on. That's just making shit up.
How can Force ghosts catch lightsabers and call down lightning, but they can't go after the bad guys? My guess is they're not strong enough as ghosts to do any damage against.
What?
Damage.
It doesn't have to be.
Do you know what a lightning strike does to people?
You can't build. You can't like do anything against a person.
But you can summon lightning.
That's how Palpatine keeps dying is from lightning. That's like his #1 weakness. Shock him.
Strong enough, or did you say they're not strong enough off at 2?
Let's roll it back, because I'm
it's so stupid.
I got Jen. How can Force ghosts catch lightsabers and call down lightning, but they can't go after the bad guys? My guess is they're not strong enough as ghosts to do any damage against somebody like Palpatine.
Oh no,
That's just stupid.
The only way they could have been useful is to directly attack Palpatine.
Yeah.
They could have done.
I love the idea that he's like, why didn't you help me,
lightsaber-
Force Ghost? They're like, we're not sure Force Lightning would actually kill him, because he's pretty strong. It's like, why didn't you try? It's like,
Whatever. Your lightsaber doesn't get weaker if you use it as a ghost. You can still
To
fucking...
use a deadly weapon to kill someone,
Yeah.
even though they can't. It doesn't. Palpatine
Annoy him in a fight.
Yeah,
it was-
like,
well,
yeah,
I guess
lightsaber shield.
when you get like super fundamental on the logic here, it's like you can pick up and move lightsabers and activate them, yes? Like, yes. So
Yeah.
you can walk a lightsaber just into him, yes. You think you can't hurt him? No. Okay.
Okay,
It's
moving on.
like Star meme where he's having this shit explained to him. You know the one.
Yeah.
You were our only hope.
Why didn't someone pull a Holdo maneuver into the Command Star Cruiser?
Yeah.
Well, pulling a Holdo maneuver like we saw in Last Jedi is a suicide mission and nobody
So?
wants to die. And for
Bullshit!
Nobody wants to die. Model
You.
secured. The film did a better
No
job
one
than
would
you did.
sacrifice themselves to win a war. Fuck yourself.
It's insane. Nobody wants to
Really?
die, therefore
Like,
we won't knock out an entire fleet for one unit. Sacrifice C-3PO.
Finn was there who explicitly demonstrated that he had that motivation in the previous film. But wait, no, to be fair, he was uneducated about this, not
Yeah,
about
yeah.
destroying things. It's about saving things.
I still don't understand why you couldn't... Well, no, because he's wrong anyway, because in TLJ, there are several people who go down with their ships, right? Remember, there's scenes where the guy's like, good luck, Resistance, as he blows up because he had to stay, for some reason he had to stay in his ship while everyone else evacuated. As if he couldn't find anyone to do that.
So is Holdo. She's amazing, brilliant, and smart. Except
Nobody
f- that black guy.
Yeah.
For most of the battle, there weren't any capital ships around that could actually attempt it. Okay.
You don't need a
You
capital
need a
ship.
capital ship.
You just need a ship.
You just need hyperdrive.
I don't think he understands the logic, the physics involved in it. It doesn't matter how big your spaceship is. If you got a peanut going the speed of like light times 10, 100,000 million billion through the planet Earth, that shit's going through the core. It's probably just gonna blow it all up. Actually, it's like it's all over.
Okay, now here's one about the ending. How did Rey know where the Lars homestead was? She probably asked someone. I mean, she could have gone.
How come that thing isn't a museum with 1,000 monuments built around it?
I love these
This is the
explanations.
Skywalker home where he grew up, the man who saved the galaxy.
He probably
It's like
asked
a
somebody.
building with equals and
Okay,
shit.
okay. Hang on. Who did she ask? Like everybody thought he was a legend. Nobody thought
myth,
he
yeah.
was real. Huh?
Well, the myth says that he used to live at this farm.
Chewie, he must have known, surely.
Chewie showed her where.
That was his use in this trilogy. It happened off screen, but he did something fine.
I just love that she probably asked somebody, like, thank you so much for making this video. We needed this information. Like, where else could we get it?
Went to the Mos Eisley Cantina and said, does anybody know where the Lars family used to live? Or Maz Kanata told her. Why was there a room with mirrors right next to Palpatine's throne room in the Death Star? So in the movie, they call this a Sith vault. It would make sense that Palpatine would keep a vault close by for his most valuable artifacts. It's not actually filled with mirrors. It has an enchantment on it to protect whatever is inside. This shows
didn't work very well, did it?
It's not actually mirrors, it's a magic enchantment. A mirror would be a simple, natural explanation. We can't have that.
I love the idea that
what?
the security system makes you imagine an evil version of yourself trying to kill you. Like, okay.
Why not just like a wall?
Unusual, but you know, it doesn't even work. All it does is push her out of the room.
You have to address that Palpatine owns a mirror. This is a plot hole.
Yeah.
The explanation is very simple. There was an enchantment on his vault, right? That clears everything up.
It was an enchantment.
I've improved the film with these words.
These explanations definitely do not raise even more questions.
Many more questions.
People what they're most afraid of. In Rey's case, it was the darkness inside her. And why was the first wayfinder in some box in the forest? Because these guys were running from the First Order and bringing their box with them. They were probably
These guys were running from the First Order. They took.
They were running away with their box. What the hell are these explanations? If he just read the stupid dictionary thing, all of them have this is Mustafar apparently, and it's Vader's stupid wayfinder. That's why it's here. What is this explanation?
In the middle of the forest of Mustafar.
Yeah, I know. It's really weird, but his one's even weirder. It's like these people are running from the First Order and they're keeping their box with them. Like, okay.
It was a concrete box set into the ground, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, that's where they keep it when they're not running.
Carry those around with you.
Yeah,
they just carry the concrete.
These were strong people.
Wow, that must have. Wow,
that's what, they're ripped.
Going to Mustafar.
Yeah, gonna find the wayfinder
from the Sith. Why did nobody strip the Jedi Hunter ship for parts when it was in the desert for decades?
Yeah.
Because the Pasanans are a superstitious people.
What?
Oh, that's it.
You can't just... No! They do it in the film! They do it! They take the fucking ship! They take the whole ship! I love this deleted scene where they're like, Luke, why didn't you search the ship? It's like, well, you see, the Pasanans, they're very superstitious. They wouldn't let us.
Saying, why did no one else strip it in the between times?
Well, it's hilarious to think that all it took for Luke to give up his mission is someone saying no.
Don't do that.
Also, why no one stripped it for parts in the between times after that? Like, you know, in the whole time it was there.
It's a major plot hole as well, by the way, because if they had searched the ship, they'd find Dio, and if they plugged him into a like USB, they'd find all of the information on Exegol, and that's what they were looking for. And they just didn't do that. And he's like, oh, because of superstition. Pathetic.
Like all of them were superstitious. And about what?
Every time Luke and Lando approached the ship, all of the Pasanans would start shaking and sweating, like, don't do it. And then they're like, oh, you know what? It's fine. We're just gonna go home. It's fine.
And they sense the evil presence of the ship. Also, they wouldn't go near the sand pits. This is a good one.
Don't go to that ship. It's
wouldn't
evil.
Go near the sand pits? It seems to be a really obvious, hard to miss thing.
It's staggering, honestly. Remember, Rey sensed shit as well with the Force. I guess Luke's just not that attuned with the Force.
Yeah,
Red 5, Luke's
if Leia
X-Wing
was there,
missing a wing in Last Jedi because Luke used it as a door. So how did the X-Wing fly away? Well, it wasn't the whole wing. He used a piece of the wing for a door. Rey is a scrapper. She probably found a piece of the destroyed TIE fighter and used that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look at it.
Look at that TIE fighter. What do you mean?
Look at it.
This is really awful. Like, he's so desperate.
Gracious.
You know, it makes sense. Rey probably used a part that's from a completely different ship to just fix an obliterated, conflagrated ship part attached to the waterlogged one. It totally makes sense.
For repairs. How can Rey suddenly use Force lightning? Well, she didn't know she could. It shows that
That's the same. That's the answer for every power Rey ever had. She didn't know she could.
I didn't know I could randomly heal someone. I didn't know I could heal beasts in the desert.
How did you paint this beautiful masterpiece? Oh well, it's very simple. I really didn't know I could do this.
That answers the question. I don't know what's wrong.
The dark side is strong in her if she chooses to use it. Why couldn't C-3PO translate Sith?
We're moving on.
He says in the movie that the Senate passed a law forbidding the translation. So either
No, he can translate it. He simply can't sound the noises.
What a strange thing to pass in the Senate. Like they're arguing over this law, and they're making a compromise. Okay. The delegates from the Flim Flam, we're gonna make a compromise where droids can read it, and all the droids guys go, yay! But they can't tell anybody. And they're like, I guess we'll take a compromise for now, but we will be pursuing full droid tele-Sithy powers.
And then someone's like, wait, one thing to add to the contract, if you wipe the droid's memory, it can do it.
Yeah,
but why?
I feel like this is a really easy workaround, sir.
Like, well, you know,
To the
loopholes.
point where
That's
it's
loopholes
like,
for
why are
you.
we even making this law?
I love how he explains it as if it makes sense.
A law? That's stupid.
either the Senate outlawed this 1,000 years ago after the Sith were defeated, or Palpatine outlawed it.
Imagine not being allowed to speak German.
Why would Palpatine outlaw the reading of Sith? I don't know.
He's a
tracks.
Sith.
I am the Senate.
Well, could they have found another protocol droid? Yes, but they only had 16 hours.
Wait, what?
He looked so smug when he said that. Like, yeah, I got your argument.
Got you.
Well, the Senate passed a law 1,000 years ago that droids aren't allowed to tell everybody the language that they can read.
He's actually highlighted stuff that I didn't even realize. It's like, yeah, hey, Babu Frick, do you not have like a spare protocol droid we could just have read it? You're a droid smith.
That's right. This entire movie with them hopping around from planet to planet takes place in just 16 hours.
Yeah,
I
not
know,
even
man,
you
it's
believe
crazy.
it.
I know, it's crazy.
Is that what he's doing? Is he trying to make fun of it?
I would actually believe this whole video was parody, that he's just given up. And he's like, none of this actually makes sense, I'm just f***ing with you.
And finally, why did so many ships show up when nobody answered the call at the end of Last Jedi?
They've heard us, but no one's coming.
Because this time they had the most smooth-talking swindler in the galaxy.
Yeah. Everyone was willing to commit suicide because Lando said they should.
It's like, hey, yo.
Just smooth, creamy voice and mega cock. That's what did it.
Absolutely.
Asking them for help.
I don't claim you can have a better time with Colt 45 than without it. But why take chances?
All right, guys, that's a lot of plot holes and questions. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments.
I like that he's acknowledged that what he said was just more plot holes. That's good.
Be happy to answer them for you. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.
Well,
oh boy,
that happened.
Hello, you just listened to a segment of the podcast Every Frame a Pause, or EFAP. Hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet, they critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to the EFAP channel and catch new episodes on Saturdays, as well as catch their smaller videos reacting to the latest and not-so-greatest movies and TV shows throughout the week. You can also subscribe here to EFAP highlights for the latest shorts, clips, and supercuts, also uploaded throughout the week. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to their communities on Reddit and Discord. Thanks for watching.